My name is Plegge, and on March 16, 2007, I lost my oldest son, Anthony. I wanted to remember his last 2 weeks on Earth, so 8 months after my son passed away, I wrote down everything I could remember about that time. Over the years, I showed my story to a couple of people, and they told me I should turn my story into a book and have it published. In April 2013, I decided to turn my story about my son's last 2 weeks on Earth into a book about his life. 7 months later, in November 2013, I finished my first book, When Tomorrow Starts Without Me. When Tomorrow Starts Without Me is a story about my son's life, so just like anyone else's life, he had good times and bad times, as well as happy times and sad times. Just to give you an idea about some of the stories in the book, when Anthony was a baby, we took him to see my grandmother for the first time. We had to bathe him in her kitchen sink, because she didn't have a tub, just a shower. My grandmother was a very clean person and was not happy with us for bathing Anthony in her kitchen sink. Thank goodness she was in another room when he poo-pooed in her sink, and Mother and I scrambled to clean out the sink before Nana saw it. We laughed so hard we were crying. Another story is about an 11-day trip we took out west and all the good memories we have of that trip. When Anthony was 15, he had a very bad four-wheeler wreck and was unconscious for 3 days. That was a very scary experience for me. The main reason I wrote the book was to remember Anthony's last 2 weeks on Earth and how hard it hit me to have to make the decision to remove my son from life support. The book also tells you what I have done since my son's death and how I am helping other parents who have lost a child. I started writing this story in order to remember my son, but while writing, I realized my son's story would also help other parents who had lost a child. As I got deeper into the story, I realized that writing this story would keep my son alive in the memory of others for years to come. I wanted people to get to know my son the way I got to know him during the short 19 years I had with him. I wanted to share the happy times as well as the sad times. What a great honor to my son, and what a great way to stay motivated to continue writing until I finished my book. I was a first-time author, so when I found out how much it would cost to have a publisher publish my book, I was heartbroken. I really wanted to share my story with the world, but it looked like that was not going to be possible. My husband Cliff suggested I try self-publishing and sent me a link to the book patch. I was so excited when I found out how easy it was and there were no upfront costs. Not only that, but I could purchase one book at a time instead of having to purchase $5,000 worth of books like I did with a lot of the other self-publishing companies I came across. The best part is for every book I sell, I get 100% royalties. Since I have published my book, people all over the world have contacted me telling me how much my story has touched and helped them. People tell me while reading my story they become a part of the story and they feel like they know my son. What is so rewarding to me is the many different lives it has touched and the different ways it has touched them. People have told me they can relate to the part of the story where it tells about me being a young unwed mother. Others have told me they had a child or a sibling with ADHD and they could relate to that part of the story. Some of the people that have read my story have told me it has given them the strength to continue living when they didn't think that would ever be possible. Having total strangers contact me and tell me that my story has touched them in one way or another touches my heart. You have no idea how happy it makes me to know my son's story is helping other people in ways I never imagined, and at the same time, keeping his memory alive. I hate the fact that my son had to lose his life in order to help others, but I am so thankful that his story is helping others. I have taken a tragedy and turned it into something positive to help myself as well as others. Without the book patch, none of this would have been possible. Thank you.